David stood up for me the other day. He got mad at our mom and told her to call me Zoe. He even told her to say she instead of he. So I decided to do something nice for his birthday today. I took him to Nickel City, and we spent half the day playing Mario Brothers 3 on an antique arcade machine.
Yeah.
After we get back, he shows me the newest game that he's been developing. It's a good day. I want to have more days like this with him. But in order to do that, I have to stay clean. December 6th, 2017. Dear Diary, my first suicide attempt was when I was 8 years old. The last one was when I was 8 months ago. I say this to everyone in front of my IOP group. I'm standing in front of them presenting my autobiography. It's an assignment where we tell everyone our life story. Mine is peppered with suicide attempts and relapses. It's a shit show, and it feels really good to share it. After the presentation, my friend Tabby picks me up and gives me a ride home. She's my best friend, and tonight is the night that she earns that title. As usual, we're sitting in her car, idling in the driveway and talking. Not as usual, a police vehicle comes down my cul-de-sac, piloting at every house. My first thought is, fuck, what did I do now? As expected, the officer parks in front of my house. Not expected, the officer runs up to the door and lets himself in. I'm confused. What is he here for? What's going on? Another officer pulls up, and then an ambulance, and then a fire truck. Everyone running straight into the house. My heart drops in a pool of ice water. Everything gets muffled. From the driveway, we can kind of see into the front room through the partially closed curtains. I watch as they move couches around and carry something large in from the back bedrooms. What happened? What's going on? I feel like throwing up. I tell Tabby I'm going to walk up to the door, and she holds my hand as I do. The door is open a crack, so I peek in. It's David. There's a long gash across his neck. I can't think. What am I looking at? What's going on? And it clicks. That isn't a cut. It's an indent. David hung himself. I can't move. I can't look away. I don't snap out of it until one of the paramedics notices us and shuts the door. Tabby is still holding my hand and leads me back to the car. We sit there for another 10 minutes waiting. Why are they taking so long? What's going on? Finally, they rush the stretcher inside. Oh, thank fuck, he's alive. But when they bring him out to the ambulance, one of the paramedics is still on top of him, giving him CPR. I'll never forget the look of pure pain and despair on my mom's face as she climbed into the ambulance. As they pull out, I notice that they aren't going very fast. I can't tell if that's a good sign or a bad one. At the ER, they bring us to a special waiting room in the middle of the patient area. Tabby is still holding my hand, squeezing it every few minutes to pull me out of my haze. It's eerily quiet, as if David is the only patient here. Shouldn't there be more people rushing around? We take turns standing by the door, listening for any kind of update. Finally, we hear someone say that they were able to get a steady but weak pulse. It's been over half an hour since we got to the hospital. Why did it take so long? What's going on? Another half an hour of waiting later, and they finally take us up to the ICU waiting room. There, a doctor and some nurses are waiting. I finally found out exactly what's been going on. They tell us that David had been hanging for at least 15 minutes. They tell us that he may not make it through the night. They tell us that if he does make it through, there will be brain damage. There isn't a hint of hope within me. Somehow I already know that David is gone. My mom pulls Tabby aside and tells her not to let me out of her sight. I know what she's worried about, and it's not just relapse. I spend the night at Tabby's. It isn't until she falls asleep that I start to cry. Somehow I manage to stay clean. December 7th, 2017. Dear Diary, it's first thing in the morning and I'm back at the hospital. I'm scared. David is on a respirator. Every breath it forces into his lungs makes his whole body jerk. They do surgery to put a feeding tube directly into his stomach. They say that they're waiting to see what happens. I stay there for a few hours before I can't take it anymore. I end up at Tabby's. Somehow I managed to stay clean. December 8th, 2017. Dear Diary, we still aren't getting any new information. They tell us that they're going to do some brain scan to look for brain activity, but it won't happen until tomorrow. My mom is living in the hospital. My dad keeps going to work, but I don't. I end up back at Tabby's again. Somehow I managed to stay clean. December 9th, 2017. Dear Diary, they finally do the brain scan. My mom tells me that they say that it's inconclusive. I'm not sure if I believe her. Back to Tabby's. Somehow I managed to stay clean. December 10th, 2017. Dear Diary, the staff at the ICU all know me by name now. They don't make me buzz in anymore. David's CNA tells me how she talks to David just like any other patient, letting him know before she moves him, giving him updates, keeping him company, just in case. They do another scan. This one shows some brain activity, but not much. I take this as a bad sign. My mom takes it as a good one. Tabby's again. Somehow I managed to stay clean. December 11th, 2017. Dear Diary, they do one more brain scan. They tell us that if he does come back, he will be extremely disabled. The family is split. Half of us feel like we should end his pain. He wouldn't want to live like that. The other half still thinks that a miracle is possible. Even without a miracle, they would want him around, no matter what it would put them through. They went to Tabby's place. Somehow I managed to stay clean. December 12th, 2017. Dear Diary, they do a test to see if he has enough brain activity to breathe on his own. They remove the respirator, and after over a minute, he takes a single breath. The other half still thinks that a miracle is possible. Tabby is a saint for letting me live with her this long. Somehow I managed to stay clean. December 13th, 2017. Dear Diary, I get a call. Before I can get to the hospital, they do the test again. I was supposed to be there. Why didn't they wait? This time the test failed. David has been declared legally dead. We're all sitting around David's hospital bed. I'm holding his hand and my mom is holding the other. They tell us what will happen next. I'm still not prepared when it happens. They pull the respirator out, but we request that they leave the screen with his vitals on. I watch the screen as his blood pressure and heart rate slowly drop. Half an hour later and his heart is still slowly beating. They tell us that they are ready to take away his body where we are. My mom stays behind, wanting to be with him up until the last second. I go back to Tabby's. I sleep for a very long time. Somehow I managed to stay clean. December 18th, 2017. Dear David, I'm sorry. It's the night before your funeral. I really tried to stay clean. December 19th, 2017. Dear David, today is your funeral. I'm sorry that I'm high through all of it. It's too much. And hey, now I can cross getting high in a church bathroom off my list. No offense, but you look kind of weird. People always say they look there like they're just asleep during viewings. I don't know if it's because I always saw you asleep for the last week of your life or what, but you just look empty. It's not really you though, it's just the body left behind after your death. You're not actually hearing any of this, but it still helps. Mom is really struggling. I don't think I've seen her without tears in her eyes all day. I won't bother you with questions like, why did you do it? I know why. I get it. What I didn't know was how much it would hurt everyone if I had ever succeeded. Even now, it feels like this isn't happening. It feels like you're just at home, sitting on your computer, working on your newest game. But you aren't. You killed yourself. You took that away from me. I was supposed to be the one to kill myself. No, I can't. If I do, it will destroy what's left of our family. I don't know what to do from here. For now, I'm just going to focus on trying to get and stay clean. December 6th, 2019. Dear David, I've been playing Zelda on your Switch a lot lately. So has Natalie. We've been bonding over playing your video games to remember you. Guess what? Natalie started calling me Zoe too. Mom even tries to get my pronouns right. None of that would have happened without you. I've been thinking about things, and I think that I had it wrong last time I wrote you. I thought of what you did as taking away my suicide. But taking away my suicide is really actually just giving me life. So I decided to actually live. And using heroin isn't living. It's a slow suicide. So thank you. Thank you for everything you've given me, whether you meant to or not. I love you, David. I forgive you. I forgive you. And I promise, this time I'm going to stay clean.
So in the writing classes, how we do at 7th Street, we don't give feedback, we just say thank you.